Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know we are a celebrity-based podcast show where we talk with celebrities and directors and filmmakers about various topics and discussions. I am very honored and excited to be introducing my next guest. He is a director, he's an author, and he's also an actor as well. He has directed the film A War on Friendly Grounds. It's a very powerful film because it has a very powerful backstory to it, and he will be sharing that story with us. That will probably leave your jaws on the floor, but it is an incredible story. But we are super excited to have him here. Everyone, give a warm welcome to Mr. King Jaquell Martin. Hello.
What's good, everybody? I appreciate y'all letting me tap in and have a little bit of fun with y'all today.
Oh, we are so excited to have you on here. I've been checking out your book. I've been checking out the film. So, of course, I do believe a mutual friend of ours, Mr. S.L. Jackson, is what brought us around here. So I am super excited to be speaking. I am glad he got us connected. I'm super excited to be speaking with you. Thank you for this honor there, Mr. Martin.
Oh, I appreciate it. And big shout out to him. I appreciate the connection, man. That was definitely.
Yes, we loved it when he was on here. So big shout out to him. All right, Mr. Martin, I know you have one hell of a story to tell us. So I want to begin with the first question that kind of brings on this story you have to tell us. What started your journey to being an author as well as eventually being a starring on Ballers as an actor?
To be honest, I've been acting a fool my whole life, so I just figured, after the military and everything that happened to me, why not just go after my dreams and get paid for it?
Mm-hmm.
After you guys hear my story, you'll understand once you lose everything, you become afraid of nothing. And you just realize
Exactly.
that, you know, every day that you wake up is an opportunity to change your future, and it's the closer day to your grave. So what are you waiting for? Just go for it.
No, I agree. I agree. Which honestly brings me up to the next question to what you said, your story. You directed a movie called A War on Friendly Grounds. Now, again, this is a very powerful film. Can you give not only a backstory to what made you want to create this film, but what the film is about?
Okay, well, in my Will Smith voice, I wanted to tell the truth.
Yes, please,
I wanted to
please.
tell the truth. Now, honestly, if you would have told me I would be here today, I would have called you a liar. I would have called you out your name. And most people are like, what? What is he talking about? Because the day that I was wrongfully arrested and I was beaten up in my military uniform by multiple officers, and they beat my ex-wife up in front of me, and I was wrongfully facing 10 years in jail for the color of my skin, I never thought that I would be in the position that I am in today. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to go through, something to get to right where God needs you to be. So this is how he got my attention.
Mm-hmm. And again, when you created a war on friendly grounds, like you said, what what kind of a motivation kind of made you want to kind of create this type of film, not only to tell your story, but what kind of motivates you to want to
Colin Kaepernick, Ryan Coogler, Fruitvale Station, you know, Mr. Michael Michal. I think that's his name, if I'm saying it right. Oscar Michal. He was one of the first Black directors. And just, I got no disrespect to anyone else. I get tired of our story being told as us being a gangbanger or a drug dealer. There's so many other stories and
Amen. So
cultures
agree.
told. So I just wanted to tell the truth about what it's like in America as a Black man. And this just happened to be my experience. Rest in peace, George Floyd. When you see people that will disrespect a man's death and turn it into a challenge, things like that inspired me. So my story is basically Fruitville Station meets Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm-hmm. No, and I get it, and that's a powerful, and I have to agree. Yes, I like to see more stories, from African Americans where, we're not just game makers, we're professors, we're authors, we are,
Right.
human beings, we are fathers, we are mothers, we are all this complexity and all these layers of human beings. And we need to be able to show all of it. And I applaud you for creating the film like A War on Friendly Grounds.
Yeah.
For sure. Kind of going on a little more into the story there, Martin, because it has to be, you know, for you very, very, very hard because you said you were in the military
Mhm.
and you've defended your country and you've defended your country with honor. How does, I'm hoping I'm going to ask this right, how is that, has that really affected you in the way like, I cannot believe my country did this to me after, you know what I mean?
I would say sometimes in America, in our culture, we want to turn the other cheek. We want to be
Hmm.
so kind. We want to believe that we can make a difference, and I believe that we can.
Hmm.
Looking at history and where we come from, into the evolution of slavery to where we are today.
Hmm.
So, in this journey, you feel like, okay, God, me and you, we're gonna create this opportunity to create the change for the ripple effects for our future to have it. So, telling this story, I just wanted to honor my ancestors from all the sacrifices that they've been through for me to have the comfort and life that I have today.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's my responsibility to make a better place for the future, for my two boys, for everyone else's children. So in order to do that, you got to get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is truth. Because so many people enjoy lies nowadays that the, the truth is uncommon. The people aren't used to the truth anymore. So when you tell
Right.
the truth, it becomes attractive because it's something that people aren't used to seeing anymore.
Absolutely. And I hope I didn't offend ask you that question. It's just that
Oh,
your
no,
story.
absolutely.
Okay,
You did.
perfect. Okay, I wanted to make sure. It's just that of course, I've heard, of course, police brutality, always in the news, but it's. I don't want to say it hits different, but to me, it just affects me a little bit different because you are someone who bravely defended their country, who served, who everything, and just to have that happen, it's just it's
It's
to
great.
me, yeah, it affects, what I mean, kind of makes me I'm shaking a little bit because it's like
Like,
to me, it's just mind blowing and jaw dropping, and it's just like because I believe highly, highly our military, former active, deserves to be taken care of. You guys are putting the ultimate sacrifice, your life to defend our country, to make sure we're safe. So to have that happen, it boils my blood a lot. So I
I mean,
just, yeah.
since we on the J Lounge, let's just keep it 100. It made me realize that the flag is a lie.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is they claim that America is the land of the free, freedom, liberty, and justice for all. But I've never had freedom, never received the liberty, and I'm still fighting for the justice that we want today. And so it made me realize that you can't just talk about it. We can't just march about it. We have to put more action behind it. All those things are stepping stones to the greater goal, but yet we continuously have to continue this fight daily and put actions behind our words instead of just our emotions. Because sometimes we become so emotional that we get stuck in that stage of emotion and we don't take that and put into a plan of action to create the change that we want.
And I have to applaud you for, what happened to you, not letting that harden you. It seems like you still seem to have a little bit of hope. You made this film, you burst into your own creativity and create this film and writing and acting. So, what happened to you is terrible, but I'm glad there is a little bit of silver, lining into it. And you're able to be here today and be able to share your story today. And hopefully, others are be very affected by not only your book, but your film as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. So, it's like going to church. You can't have a testimony without a test, but you got to
Right.
pass the test to be able to share your testimony. And so I
Hmm.
just feel like this is not my whole life, but this was just a test that I had to pass in life. So
Right.
that way I can share my story with other people, you know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, I'm still furious. I'm still
Hmm.
upset. I'm
Of
still
course.
angry. I'm still hurt. I still have PTSD. I have
Hmm.
trauma. I have survivor's guilt. When you see all these other people who lose their life, and I'm like, God, why am I still?
Right.
Why did you allow me to survive the situation that my brothers and sisters or someone else's mother, father, daughter, or children didn't get to survive? Why me?
Hmm.
And I feel like the reason why he allowed me to survive is to be able to tell this story and be able to speak for those who didn't get a chance to ever tell their story.
Exactly. It just takes that one spark of change.
Right.
That one spark of someone reading it and going, you know what? I do not want anybody else going through what he went through. It's time to get to the root. We need to get to the root so we can finally start to fix this problem.
And
So
I want my people to understand one thing, right? Because I did an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN, and Jake Tapper, in front of the whole wide world, said, "If you saw the officer again, what would you say?" And I said I would forgive him. And I think people got this forgiveness, and they don't understand what that really means.
right,
I think people think that because I said I forgive him, I'm not hurt, I'm not
right,
angry, I'm not mad, I don't want to do anything about it. Nah, the forgiveness was for myself and what I went
yes,
through. You know what I mean? So I can have a peace of mind instead of just walking around like a teapot that's just about to explode. Because I could have got a gun, I could have went and did something foolish, I could have went and fought, but those things only last for a moment. Me writing a book, me creating a movie, that's something that's going to last for a lifetime that can create change for whoever sees it or reads it. So I want to be able to do things that are going to change legacies or a future outcome instead of just an emotional reaction. So that's what I meant by when I said I forgive. I forgave for my own self to have my own inner peace. And that's how I'm able to be on your show right now talking about it and being able to create the things that I'm creating to create the change that I want to see.
and I totally understand what you mean by that. Your peace of mind. It's taking back your power. You don't want to, you know, have this, anger all your life. I get it. You want to forgive him for yourself, to give yourself a peace of mind so you
Right.
can again create the things that you want to create, so you don't have that, you know you want to be able to continue to live your life. And I understand that. People tend to still think it's forgiveness as weakness, but it's not. It's one of the most
Right.
powerful things on this earth. You want to give yourself that peace of mind. You deserve it. You shouldn't have to toss and turn every night with something that heavy, you know on you. So kudos for you for that.
Yeah. And what you do is you take that this anger, this rage that you have, and you put that towards the work. You put that towards the motivation on the days when you don't want to do it or when you're tired or when you think ain't nobody going to believe in what you got to say or where you're going. You use that anger or that, all that built up frustration that you have to motivate you to do it. You know what I mean? So that was my
Exactly.
motivation, and that was it was actually therapeutic to be able to find a way to release it into my writing or into my creativity instead of just using it for something bad. Because energy has to go somewhere, and you can make a choice. You can use it for the bad, or you can use it for something that's going to be beneficial for you and other people. So that's the road I chose to go down.
And amen. Thank you, Lord, that you did. Because again, you wouldn't be here if you didn't.
Right.
So, and I'm glad that you're here telling your story. I appreciate it for
Right.
sure. Going on to the number three question, though, as a director, what type of stories do you hope to continue to tell?
Honestly, I want to tell the truth. Like I want to be able to tell stories about our history that are truthful. I want to be
Mhm.
able to tell the truth about what's happening right now because the truth has been disguised so much. Now, I'm not saying because I was on HBO Ballers, I'm not saying stories aren't like that aren't amazing because they are.
Right.
I'm not saying Power is not amazing because it is. I'm not saying Snowfall's not fire because it is. I'm saying that we are so much more than that as well. What happened to, our Cosby Show, A Different World, 227, all these shows that
Yes.
enlighten Black people. What happened to shows that talks about, Wall Street, Black Wall Street, these different type of things about the truth of our entrepreneurs and just our truthful stories of being Black and the things that happen, or just being a regular Black person that has to deal with everyday life. So I want to be able to tell these type of stories that will be able to tell our truth because if we don't take control of our content, we will continue to be viewed the way we're viewed by other countries. That's how people can come over here and be scared of us, because of what's on film, what's in music. They already have a prejudice against us before they even see us. But at the same time, as our job as creators, it's our job to show our other colors, to show that we're much more than that and
Hmm.
that we are brilliant and that we've made it we've evolved from being slaves to being where we are today. I want to tell stories like that.
Amen. I totally agree with that. We are much more than that. Like I said, we are so much more. And I get it. The Cosby shows, the different world, it really brought a unique perspective, into our world, into, like you said, we're more than that. You know,
Yeah.
the Cosby Show, he was a doctor, she was a lawyer, you know, on the different world. They talked about so many different, you know, subjects and still was very, you know, witty and just amazing. So I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
I think right
And
now, shout out to Blackish and Grownish. Those are like the only
yes.
two shows, you know what I mean, that we have. Where's the black version of Friends? You know?
Oh, thank
Where's
you.
the black version of Cheers? You know, they have so many different shows, but they don't have us casted as that. But guess what? We have the same type of lifestyle. It just looks different.
Right. No, I
So,
get it. Oh, I would actually really love an all black cast of Cheers. That would be phenomenal. That
right?
would be. I think you should start a directing petition for that. I honestly do.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. Oh, I do. I really think that would be awesome. And a all cast, well, Living Single was kind of a little bit.
That's dope.
So it kind of was a little bit, and I kind of liked Living Single, and its story's more better than Friends. No
Right.
offense to Friends fans out there.
Now, I'm not saying that. We just basically saying there can be balance in that type of storytelling.
Absolutely, there absolutely can. There
Yeah.
definitely, and we definitely need more of that. You're right. We need to take, you know, more control of our narrative, or we'll continue to be viewed as something we're really not. So I completely agree with you on that.
And don't get me wrong, we need to still continue to tell our hood stories because living in the hood and living in the ghetto or systemic oppression or gentrification, all that's real. So
Of
that's
course.
part of the story. So that has to be told too. So I'm not hating on that. I'm just
Mhm.
saying we need to talk about the other colors in the crayon box of our stories that we tell.
And I completely agree. Totally agree. Oh, all right, Mr. Martin. Going on to the number four questions. Can you name three actors you would love to work with one day?
Denzel, Jamie Foxx, Lakeith Stanfield.
Ooh, I like the choices. I like
Yeah.
the choices. Lakeith Stanfield, shout out on his Oscar nomination. So yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree on that one.
What's so
Uh,
crazy is me and Lakeith actually went to the same acting school. He started out at Barron Brown, and my friend Dana, who's my producer for my new film Twitter Fingers, actually helped enroll Lakeith at Barron Brown. So it's funny, but
oh
it's
my
really
goodness.
yeah, small world,
Oh
right?
wow. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Lakeith, if you are listening one day, I know a director who you can work with, Mr. Martin. And so you guys should link up, do a movie. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Ah, going on to the number five, Mr. Martin, I want to make sure my audience keeps up with you, your work, more of your story. Where are you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, King Jaquell Martin, my name, or my name, same thing on Facebook, King Jaquell Martin. I started my production company. It's called Look in the Mirror Productions because I just want people to look in the mirror and question themselves. Those are the type of films that I want to make. If we question our own morals and our own ethics, I think I'm making a change one person at a time. So definitely, you can find me at King Jaquell Martin on Instagram or Facebook.
All right. Hope you guys, you know, my audience, send him some love, send him some support, follow him, check out more of his story, check out his film, A War on Friendly Grounds, and just make sure you just definitely support Mr. Martin here. You know, we want to see more of his work for sure.
And let me know how to be supportive back to y'all. You know what I mean? You can't ask to be blessed if you're not willing to bless nobody else.
Ah, love it. Oh, definitely will. Love it. Oh, okay. Going on to the next. Oh, finally, I was hoping somebody would make a film like that because honestly, there are some people who need that reality check.
Yeah.
Please watch what you tweet because it will come back. Yes, I cannot wait. And then when does that start filming again?
So I start filming that April 22nd through the 25th. It'll be a short that I'll be pitching for a feature film.
Ooh, I hope it turns into a feature film. That is a film that needs to be seen for
Yeah.
sure. I'm rooting for that. I'm rooting for you on that one.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Matter once we're done, and I'll send you an edited version of the film so you can check it out.
Oh, please. I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. I love it when my fans, when my guests do that. Please do. I would be honored.
Oh
Just
yeah.
check it
Yeah.
out. Very, very honored. Going on to the number seven question, Mr. Martin, what goals do you hope to achieve in not only your directing career, your authoring career, and also your acting career as well?
Um, Acting just reoccurring, just work. I just want to work. You know what I mean? Ballers was amazing. Oh my God, let me tell you about Ballers. These people on Ballers were so dope. You know, shout out to the production team, shout out to the crew, shout out to the cast. I actually held a book signing on Ballers. I actually got
Ooh.
to meet the creator of Ballers. Now, okay, let's go back. So I thought I was about to get fired by my agent because I was in school. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? I was in directing school, so I wasn't going out on auditions. So I had one audition for Ballers, so I went in and they made me rap. They wanted me to freestyle, and then they wanted me to say the lines, right? So I go in, I spit a freestyle real quick, I do my lines. About 5 months later, my agent then was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you, but I want to make sure that your manager's on the phone. We're gonna call you at like 3 o'clock." And I'm in school. I'm like, ah, man, they could let me go. It's all good, brother. Got to find a new one. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm on my A game. Things happen. So 3 o'clock come. They both call me. Hey, King, how are you doing? We wanted to talk to you. Have you heard the news? And I was like, no, I haven't. We're So you book Ballers. You guys ever gonna let me go? They said, what? I said, you guys finna let me go? She's like, no, what are you talking about? You booked Ballers. I was like, wait, what? I booked Ballers? Oh, let's go. I booked Ballers, baby. It's that time. Thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You know how we act, right? She was like, why would you think that you were fired? I was like, because I'm in school and I haven't been auditioning. Like, you know what I mean? Making y'all bread the same way I want to make bread. They was like, no, we good. We know you build it. You build it. So I booked Ballers. So when I get on Ballers, I was like, I'm not really a rapper. I don't got bars like that. They really rap on HBO. Come to find out, the lady in the audition room, she messed up because when they said rap, they meant like holler at a chick in the club. So,
Oh.
so I spit a freestyle for no in the audition. They had me
Oh my
freestyle for no reason because it was supposed to be like rap, like I'm trying to holler at you, like, "Hey, shorty, what's good? What you doing tonight?" You know what I mean? You trying to come through? You trying to chill with a brother tonight? You gonna regret it in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Something like that or whatever else, right? So I didn't rap at all on HBO. It was just me talking to a chick. So it was hella funny. Shout out to my boy Chris Lofton and you know London. You know what I mean, and everybody else on the show. Chris took great care of me while I was on the show, made me feel mad comfortable. Chris is the guy that I shot on. He played Kassan Teague on Ballers or whatever. So yeah, that's my little funny baller story right there. But
Oh,
the book
that is
signing.
hilarious.
So when they finally, hold on, my bad. The book signing. So when they found out who I was on Ballers, on I think it was season 10, season 4, episode 10, they had like a Colin Kaepernick episode, and they were talking about Black Lives Matter. Now, Ballers is one of the top shows on HBO, so they don't have to touch this topic because you know it's mad sensitive, right? But they talked about it, you know, and they told the truth. So when they found out who I was like, yo, I wrote a book about that, and this is who I am. And I actually got beat up by the police in my military uniform. They were like, what? They was like, go get your book. So I ran to the car. Thank God I had books in the car. And they actually allowed me to have a book signing on set where I was just signing my book, giving it out to the production crew and everything. So that was like so cool, man. It was just a magical moment.
Oh my God. What a
Yeah.
highlight.
Yeah, crazy, right? And that's the same place when I first moved to California, I did security. So I did security at Fox Studios because you know you got to hustle in California, right? So the same place that I did security at was the same place that I wound up having a trailer at. So when I came on set, the same people I used to do security with, they saw me walk into my trailer. And I was like, bro, ain't no different between me and you. You just got to go after your dream the same way. And so it was cool to go from being a security guard to actually having a trailer on Fox Studios and then being able to motivate your friends where they could see how you could be a security guard and now you could be having a trailer. You know, that was just kind of crazy.
I think that is so awesome. Shout out for
Yeah,
Ballers and the cast for allowing you to do that. That's amazing.
great.
Oh, what a highlight. Oh, I would probably be on cloud nine the entire time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, that is amazing. That's so awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, Ballers just sound amazing. Shout out to them. Y'all are cool people. Y'all are cool people.
Appreciate the love,
Oh,
HBO. Appreciate the love. That was so dope.
I'm pretty sure it was, guys. And it's unexpected. So it's always better when it's unexpected. So,
Mm. I mean, you gotta look at it. I go from being a soldier to getting jumped by the police to wrongfully facing 10 years in jail. Mind you, the same officer that beat me up is the same police officer that beat up the little girl in the classroom in South Carolina, the one that was sitting in the desk who slammed her on her head and threw her
oh
across the
God, are you
classroom.
serious? Oh
That's the
wow.
same officer. So the video I sent you, that's the same officer who's on top of me. So my
Oh
book cover
my
is
God.
actually the picture of the officer on top of me. Then they took him off the road and they put him in the classroom. His name is Officer Benjamin Fields. They put him in the classroom and then he beat up the little girl at Spring Valley High School in South Carolina. Same cop.
Oh wow.
Tells you put your
That
seatbelt on.
Oh my God, that is jaw dropper. Because I'm not gonna lie, I thought he looked familiar and I couldn't pinpoint it until now you just said it. Yeah. Oh gosh, yes, I remember that. That was, oh my gosh, that video made me so angry. Yeah, I remember that.
So he wrongfully beat me and my ex up in front of my home, and then they took him off the road, and then they put him in the school. He beat the little girl up. Now people will say, "Well, what happened to your case?" Well, my lawyer sold me out. Let's just keep it 100. When you don't know the law, that's why I'm so glad Colin Kaepernick started Know Your Rights. It's so important to know your rights, so that way you can know the game. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was told that I can make millions here if I would just drop the assault charge, and they would represent me in the civil suit. You know what I'm saying? Pro bono. But what I didn't know is once I dropped the assault charge, they tried to throw my case out. So I reapplied to go up to the United States Supreme Court to fight my case. So I've never had my day in court. You
Oh
know,
my
I went up to
God.
the NAACP for help, the NAACP in South Carolina, just talking about the South Carolina branch. The NAACP in South Carolina was like, how much you paying us? What? I went to ACLU for help, Rainbow Push. None of these organizations wanted to help me. The military turned their back on me. They tried to wrongfully put me out the military illegally. You know what I mean? I finally got my 100% retirement from the military. So, I mean, I said all that to say this: no matter what you go through, if you keep your eye on the prize, biblical story like Peter walking on the water, as long as you keep your eye on God, you know, everything will work out. You just got to stay focused. You got to keep believing. You just got to keep putting in the work. And so that's how I could go from that situation to being a director. I wrote a movie about it. I wrote a book about it. You know what I mean? And not only did I make a movie about it, the movie has been selected in 11 different film festivals right now. You know, so
Blessings. That's all that is right there.
no blessings.
Oh, that is astonishing there.
Yep.
It really is. When you just put it in that perspective and everything, it's just astonishing. And truly apologize that you never got your day in court, but like you are striving and you are telling your story, so I applaud you for that.
Yeah, perfectly that day comes, you know what I'm saying? But everything don't happen on your time. Sometimes it just happens on God's time, you know what I mean? You just gotta stay
Hmm.
focused and keep working. And the crazy thing about it is when I told Jake Tapper that I forgive him, the comment section lit me up. Oh, that's what's wrong with us niggas. Excuse my language, don't want to be disrespectful in your show. We
Hmm.
some cool. Your forgiveness didn't stop the little girl from getting beat up. You know, I got fake phone calls. Hey, it's me, I'm the little girl. Can you send me a sexual picture? What? Heck no. Hey, we'll riot for you if you want to riot. But you know, all these fake phone calls, you don't know who called. So you don't know who trying to set you up to defame your character so that way the truth never gets out. So you got to be careful and you got to understand when you tell the truth comes with problems because a lot of people can't handle the truth. Now I know that's a cliche line, but that's a real line. So you really need to understand the difference. And then even with me being on CNN, you know, some of the questions that was set up was to see if I was just going to be triggered and be an emotional black man on national television, not someone who's going to be intellectual or not someone who's knowing how to carry their emotion. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with the trap because sometimes people will use your situation to against you or to embarrass you.
Right.
You just got to understand. That's all.
Yeah, no, I completely and totally agree with you on that one. Absolutely. And that's why, as you said, it's so important to know your rights, and it's so important to know, just how to keep cool in those situations, especially like you said with John, Tapper, that tried to,
Yeah.
mess you up, but you kept cool and you kept your point. So good for
Yeah.
you.
And
Absolutely.
special shout out to Colin Kaepernick and Ryan Coogler. I shouted y'all out in my book. I've been trying to get a hold of y'all for the longest because I would love just to give you my book. I do want to turn my short into a feature film as well. But beyond that, I definitely just want to give you a copy of my book because Cap took a knee for a person like me. I did an
Absolutely.
interview, and I did an interview with his girlfriend Nessa on Hot 97. So I'm just so grateful, Cap, that you was willing to risk it all for our culture. And I think to a certain extent, we kind of missed the moment as a culture because we should have came together and backed him in that moment the same way. And no disrespect to anyone that's Asian, how their Asian community is coming together, you know what I mean? But what happened, because what happened was wrong, we have to come together with a plan as a people to be able to execute so that way we can have our rights heard, you know what I mean? Because black lives still
Yes.
matter, Asian lives still matter. All, people want to say all lives matter, but all lives don't matter. How? If black lives don't matter, if you're saying Asian lives don't matter, so you can't just say all lives matter just to say it. It has to be a reality. And right now it's not a reality, but it should be. It should be that way. But sometimes people live in different Americas.
Mm-hmm. And you're right about that. And you're very, very right about that. And I definitely agree. We definitely should have backed Colin Kaepernick, especially when yeah, like you said, he really did a lot. So we definitely should have backed him up in that moment. But I'm glad people are now seeing, okay, yeah, Kaepernick, he did a justice for us. So he did a service for us. So I'm glad they're seeing it now.
And I appreciate people just standing up, even with the Asian hate. You know what I'm saying? People got to stop
Mm-hmm.
that. Black Lives Matter. All these different things matter. But what I think we should do in this moment, because of what happened to the Asian community and the Black community, we should be coming together. We should be
Mm-hmm.
coming together and figuring out how we can get these laws changed. Because I don't care. This is just me. Let me just keep it 100. I don't care about a Black Lives Matter painted on no building or on no street. I want to see some laws changed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of the table scraps from Massa's table. You know what I mean? We need laws changed. We need things that will in policy that will protect us. And I'm not saying every officer is bad, but at the same time, for the ones that are, they need to be exposed. At the same time, they need to be tried and true as if we did the same crime. I think an officer is an officer when he's following his training. But when you're outside of your training, you're no longer an officer. You're a bully or you're a murderer. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. Because as a soldier, if I go to war, I have rules of engagement that I have to follow. If I don't follow the Geneva Convention Code, I could be looked at as a traitor. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel
No,
like
you're right.
if any time someone is outside of the police code, if someone's not following the rules, then you're disrespecting the good officers. The bad officers are making it hard for the good officers out there that are doing their job. So shout out to the good officers. Shout out to the officers that are doing their job and they are doing the right thing. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying the ones who don't, we should hold them accountable just like anyone else.
Mm-hmm. And I amen to that. I so agree with you on that. And that is the best way put I've heard anyone put that honestly. Best way. So honestly, I've that shook me to my core because I completely and totally agree with you. If you were out of the bounds of, as yourself as a police officer, then you're no longer a police officer. You, like you just said, you are a bully, and yeah, you're a murderer. So you got to stay within, your bounds as a police officer. I agree. So,
Correct. I mean,
mhm.
because you have training. You have training for a reason. Now, this is what I would like to see, right? Because we can always talk about the problem, but what solutions do we have? I would like to see officers have longer vacations. The reason why I want to start off with this vacation thing, right, is because you could do a job for so long and then become numb to your job.
That
You
is
could
so
be,
true. Yes.
you know what I mean? So I think they need a longer vacation so that way they can recharge their battery and come back. I think they need sensitivity training, the same way we have sexual harassment training. I think they should work in neighborhoods that they know so that they are familiar with the people that they're dealing with instead of dealing with strangers. So that way you don't have to fear for your life as much because you know these people. So if
Hmm.
you work in an area that you know, then that fear should be decreased because this is something that you're familiar with.
I
So
agree.
these are just different stepping stones that I think that would decrease the violence that happens.
Hmm. And I agree with you on that one. I do. I do. And let's hope, someday soon we can make those into policies and we can implement that.
Yeah.
So again, these things don't continue to happen.
Right.
Hmm. All
I
right,
mean,
Miss. Oops, sorry.
you had asked me one thing. It was like, what is the ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to do film, is to continue directing, but also just to have like if Will Smith says something right now, everyone's listening because of who he is and what he's done, and he's
Right.
earned it. You know what I mean? So my goal is to get at a level like that. So when we have conversations like this, I can attract more people to listen, to create and change and make a difference. So motivational speaking is definitely in the works.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And I love your goals. I really do. But we just got just a couple more questions there for you, Mr. Martin. Going on to the number 8. What other passions do you have outside of directing, acting, and writing your books?
Yeah, I answered that one too fast. Motivational speaking. I definitely want to be able to talk to people. I definitely want to have an amazing conversation. I started a Facebook show called Look in the Mirror, the Conversation. And we talk about different topics. You know what I mean? We create a safe environment where ladies can come on or anyone from any other color can just come on and just talk about different topics. So I just want to be able to do motivational speaking.
Love it. Love it. I do. Motivational speaking. I am. Definitely wanting to one day go down that road myself. Definitely got to get over public speaking, but it is something I'm definitely thinking about for myself, because I definitely want to one day maybe do a TED talk. I know that's becoming really popular. So
Yeah.
it's a goal. It's a goal. It's a goal.
Well, it's not just a goal. That's something that will happen over your life because you spoke it over your life. You just got to walk into it.
Sure do. Love
And
it.
it's dope that you're a little scared, you're a little nervous. You know, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Because when you overcome that, you'll become unstoppable.
Yes. Ooh, you should be a motivational coach too. Have you ever thought about that? Just becoming a motivational
Yeah,
coach.
yeah. I would love that.
All right, just two more questions for you, Mr. Martin, in your own words, for my audience, for those who haven't watched it yet. In your own words, why should the J Lounge audience check out A War on Friendly Grounds, and what message do you hope they take from the film?
You should watch on War on Friendly Grounds if you just want to know the truth about a soldier who wanted to protect his country and came home to a country that wouldn't protect him. I know that just sounds crazy, but it's the truth. It's amazing that I never went to the army because of the flag. You know what I mean? Because the
Mm-hmm.
flag is a lie. So I put my life on the line for my people, for my culture, so we can have more. But it's amazing when we come back home, and this isn't the first time we had a story like that. There's no one here to protect us. So that's why you should watch it. If you want to see what the truth looked like, or what my life looked like that day, how I turned it around to become everything that I am today, that's why you should check that movie out.
Mic drop. Totally agree. Totally agree. If y'all haven't seen it, that's definitely why you should. It's definitely an eye opener, and it definitely will have you in your feelings. But comes feelings, come change. So
Big
definitely
fact.
support. Yes. So definitely go and see it. All
I will
right.
be releasing it. I'll release it after the film festival. It's still in the middle of the film festival run, so once it's done, I definitely will be releasing that and pitching it to studios for the feature.
Good. Good. It definitely needs to be seen nationwide. So I'm glad to hear that. All right, Mr. Martin, going on to the last question for you. Despite everything, what's been the biggest achievement in your careers? That's all three so far.
Um, Surviving,
Yeah.
survived the military. I survived a police beating. Uh, the rose that comes out of the concrete. I'm still here, no matter all the hate that I got online, no matter all the death threats that I received. God had another plan for me. So just waking up another day, being able to see another day and saying thank you, God, for everything you've
Love it.
given.
Honestly,
Yeah,
love it. And that's an amazing achievement to have, surviving another day, and then, having another day to be able to, create, inspire others. So
yeah.
thank
And,
God
and
for that.
can I
Mhm.
can I give the audience one last gem before I go?
Of course.
Okay. So this is something that I say on every show, every interview that I do because I believe it's true and I think it's very important. I just got a question for you guys. If you died today, would you get an A+ on life report card? And only you know the question to that answer. Only you know the answer to that question. But if not, and God blesses you to see tomorrow, you better live like it's extra credit because tomorrow's not promised.
Mm. Amen to
Yeah,
that. That is so true.
yeah,
Tomorrow's not promised, and that is a lot to think about.
yeah.
So let's
That's why
put it in perspective.
we got to be great with every breath we take because it could be our last. Someone just lost their life somewhere in the world. Why are you still here? And what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? You're born, you die. The question is, what do you do in the meantime? So if you get to take another breath, if you get to see another day, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna capitalize on it? How are you gonna be the best version of yourself? Because you are where you are in life based off the choices you made. And if you don't like where you are, then you got to start making different choices.
Hmm. Oh, I agree with you on that one. I do. I do. And I hope my audience take that to heed, and I hope they take everything in. Mr. Martin, you have been an incredible guest. You probably had one of the most powerful stories, I've ever had the pleasure of sharing on my platform. So thank you for being on my show and sharing it. It is. You said you had one hell of a story to tell. You were not lying. You were not lying. You told me. You warned me. You were so warned me, and you were not lying. So, but I
Yeah,
do appreciate you being on here and being able to be telling your story, and but still having, the heart to create and forgive, not only for just for yourself. And yeah, I appreciate you being on here.
Well, I just definitely want to shout out the J Lounge. I thank you for blessing me. I thank you for all the people that you've had on here to be a blessing to them. I love the fact that I don't want people to misconstrue this word, a servant, and you're providing a service to be a blessing to so many people to speak out, to be able to tell their story. So I hope you understand what I mean by that. But
I
uh, I
do.
just I just really appreciate the J Lounge and the platform. I'm super humble. I'm super grateful, and I'm just going to keep working. You know what I mean? Because to be on your platforms means greatness. So I just want to make sure that I meet the expectations of your platform just as well.
Ah, you have. It's been me on an honor for me to be able to speak with you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for serving our country despite what happened. I appreciate you to be able to write and direct a powerful film that, once it released nationwide, hopefully you'll be continue to be, a game changer and more topics, continue to discuss it so we can make some change, and not just, talking about change, making actual change, making policies, making new laws,
Yeah.
getting to the root of this problem, because it definitely shouldn't happen to anybody, of course not. And I'm, no one's exception, but it definitely should not happen to, a soldier in uniform. That to me is just, it's an insult. So I
Right.
appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you being, telling me your story, being one hell of a guest.
Yeah, man. Like, hey, as our people, we got to understand this. The biggest lie is knowledge is power. That's a lie. Knowledge is just knowledge because you can know everything and do nothing. But the application, applying knowledge, that's the secret. We got to apply what we know. Because once we start applying what we know, Jesus Christ. Woo.
Yes, we will be unstoppable. The we be limitless. The possibilities will be endless. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
totally agree with you on that. But I want to encourage my audience. Please make sure you follow, support, give a shout out to King Jaquell Martin, especially on social media. Make sure you guys check out the film once it's released worldwide. For those who are lucky enough to see it in the film festivals, make sure you tell him, Mr. Martin, what you love about the film, and just to continue to support him because his story definitely needs to be heard more, and it definitely needs to be heard from his perspective and not anybody else's. So I appreciate him for taking back his narrative, his control, your power. You are one hell of an inspiration, Mr. Martin. Thank you.
Thank you, gorgeous. Just have me
Ab-
back. Whenever you need somebody, I'm always here to work.
Absolutely. Of course, you guys know I have been your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson. This has been the J Lounge. I want to thank my guest, Mr. King Jaquell Martin, one more time for being here with us. I want to thank everyone for listening. And of course, you guys know I will be back to produce another great episode for you guys. But until then, everyone, Mr. Martin, have a wonderful day. We will be back soon. Bye.